ilizwe lizikirwe ngabanikazi balo. No one is going to come and defend our country except ourselves. Nyika inodzivirirwa nevene vayo. Ilizwe lizikirwe ngabanikazi balo. No one is going to come and defend our country except ourselves. Nyika inodzivirirwa nevene vayo. Ilizwe
warning to members of the security forces, in particular the police. Comrade Mutamba, slow down. Don't be used. Trikona out they are slowly turning Zimbabwe into a police state. Povo irukomlena. My roadblocks are kwese. What are you trying to prove? Shout out Chaboya Guidigachi. Atili kuona muno anopindira munyaya yedu inyika yatakaya nayo. Kana maida kuya gundo mukade makauya manga makura mwana wakomana. Don't be used by anybody pa ukama. Tikangoza kuti kune munhu anzi asungwa achisungirwa ma-constitutional rights ake munozviona. Kungoza kuti kune munhu apurwa chete achipurwa ma-constitutional rights ake aka.
Now this is our Comrade Gaza Bombshell, Comrade Bombshell. He is speculated to be one person, I would say one of the guys who did create a document that would be used during the 2017 coup. Comrade Gaza is trained in Romania. Now, Romania, they have a certain way of training their military personnel that is different from other nations. We would be seeing even in the Democratic Republic of Congo right about now, we see some mercenaries coming from the nation of Romania. Now, why is Geza speaking and addressing to the ZRP? This would be coming before his alleged murder case is allegedly now being used as a tool. It will be all before. Now we see different sides in Zimbabwean politics lobbying for their side, right? Remember Sengezo Chabangu, the time he would be self-imposed, he would be like, I am behind Chamisa, I am behind Chamisa. The same would be happening in the ruling party of Zanu PF. Anybody who is lobbying for what they are lobbying for, they will be armed behind President Emmerson Mnangagwa. When everybody else starts to lobby for their team, then it's whoa. Now I'm seeing the latest video from VP Chiwenga, where we saw him speaking, saying the president is the only one that was elected by the whole country as a constituency, is being misinterpreted, not necessarily deliberately. We see this article from the Zim Papers Herald. We see Zimbabwe is a unitary state. VP Chiwenga. In terms of comprehension, translation, or narration, what he said can ever be translated this way. In other words, what he said cannot be twisted. That's why he would be saying in other words. However, we go back in history at the Heroes Eka. His message has been consistent. When he says 2030 is a vision for us all, what he would say is, you are answerable to your bosses, who are the people of Zimbabwe, and everybody else who are appointed by the president. Don't think because you have a position that is appointed by the president, you have got a say to be representing the people of Zimbabwe in what they want, including you legislators. You cannot be amending no constitution. And then he goes on to say, we have our own constituencies. Constituency would mean a company or a set or a bracketed thing. That is what a constituency. A set containing the, 5 items, right? We can call it V, containing 5 I's in terms of Roman numerals, right? 2 sets of 5 becomes X in Roman numerals. Or we can be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, and we cross. That's a set. Constituency. The composition is a constituency. So in delimitation, there is creation of constituencies. Now let's go back to this video.
Nyika inodzivirirwa nevene vayo, ilizwe lizikirwe ngevanikazi varo. No one is going to come and defend our country except ourselves. Nyika inodzivirirwa.
All right. So we had VP Chiwenga there on the video saying, we have our own little constituencies. He is not a member of parliament. What is his constituency that he would be talking about?
He reminded that the president is the only one elected by the whole nation as a constituency.
Constituency keyword, you pause before it. In other words,
he is the only person in the country elected by the entire country grouped as one constituency.
Keyword, only person, entire country grouped as one. The president.
All of us, we have our little corners before constituencies.
They don't get it there when it says all of us have our little corners. Then it's back.
Little corners before constituencies. Therefore, any disparity.
Therefore, having said this, it is one sense. Because of this, I'm giving you this to prepare you. Therefore, this is straight business English.
Development in your provinces reflect back to him.
Any developments in your projects, in your provinces, in your way, reflect back to him. Developments doesn't mean kuwaka road kana kuwaka imba. At not developing, at not develop. A development, anything that is happening, any eventuality that is happening, any developments, can you update, feedback, any developments, including the appointed people who will be lobbying for 2030. Now we see 2030, it's fire. We see people like Comrade Gaza. Apart from Comrade Gaza, we would be seeing somebody actually, somebody begin to speak. And because in this nation there are so many butilikas who are willing to victimize people, it's called brave. It's called brave to say things are not going well. They are not going well. Why would anybody be disturbed by somebody saying, no, you guys are not performing, when they are not performing? Hence why The 2030 lobbyists have no facts, but maybe shambles.
We have now become a country of beggars, where Chivayo will come and donate to the church 1 million and donate cars to musicians. Where is he working? What is the source of his income? Where is he getting this money? We all want to know. Zimbabweans are eager. We cannot go that low. Nyika yedu ine mari yakatokwana. Isiri ya Mnangagwa. Isiri ya ziyambi. Isiri ya kazembe. Ma resources yavari kuita misuse. Ndidu tese. Ende iwe mimi muruda ndita vada kurambira varipo vanotoziva kuti aMnangagwa vakangobva apa kuti tichimora futi mari hazvichaita. So what they do is kuti mudhararambai muripo zvavanga vachiita zvaMugabe zviya kuti aMugabe vachatonga vari muguva. Kune matsotsi izvozvi makaona imi mana wiki neuchivhaya vakutenga ndege. President wenyika anotora Wikinel Chivhaya kwakumuisa apa, kwakutora William Ruto president wokukinya kwakumuisa apa, president vedu omira apa, ma vice president omira kumashure.
Chivhaya
Tarwani anaini
Honorema
Arema. And you want me to keep quiet?
Comrade Malunga, it was nice talking to you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank
you.
That is what we would see. He would be one of the people who becomes very vocal. Now, take note of the word lobbying. Lobbying. People lobby for what they lobby for, no matter what side. Now we see Comrade Gaza says is safe, not abducted, speaks on unity now, addresses 2017 coup. He would be posting this one here. The man himself. Of course, we talk about Comrade Gaza there. Then we would see another Zimbabwean YouTuber does post an audio of Comrade Gaza. And what does he say? Let's go over there right about now. Big up to everybody who is watching us live. To those who are watching us live, make sure you click the like button. Write your comments in the top chat and in the super chat. That's how I can see your names, so I can give you my shout out. Now I would notice one guy who would catch me blue-handed, making speak because I'm looking for the clip. So
Today,
I wouldn't be remaining silent when that would be happening. Anyways, I had loaded it in the software. Let me open it somewhere else. All these live broadcasts, I'm supposed to be editing them after the live broadcast is done. But sometimes I don't do that. So to those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. As we are opening this video, it's talking about a shutdown. Is there a shutdown that is planned? So far, the stage we are in right now is the engineering stage. So engineering is done through speculation. Engineering's descent.
So the following video is of Comrade Bombshell Geza. He's talking about the issue yakaitika 2017 ndo yaari kuadresa. Aruta zvevanhu vari kuti hatishandiswi here zvatakaitwa 2017 zviya. It's a very valid question in my own view. Vanhu vanofanira kuziva kuti tiri kumbobatsirani kokubvisa Mnangagwa, achibva ndiani ari kupinda. Vanhu vanoda kuziva izvozvo. So that is what he is talking about. I want you to listen very carefully and understand and have a conversation in the comment section. Without wasting much of your time, listen to this.
Can we be trusted? This is a question on the back of many people's minds. Because many, a time in Zimbabwe, we have seen hijacked revolutions. So it is genuine for you to ask, if this revolution is genuine, the answer is very simple. Very simple. As war veterans, what have we to gain through deceit? Nothing. We have reached the afternoon of our lives. We are not going to be alive for long. But if we die and leave this country under such tyrannic rule, we would have wasted our efforts. We won't do that, never again. We are doing this not for us, but for the future. The idea is to embrace every Zimbabwean, everyone without exception. This is not a fight for one party or one person, no. There will be no repeat of 2017. There is no Chunu in this space of this thing.
In the year 2017, the fight was not for one party. It would become Chunu afterwards. Everybody is hopeful for a transition. We would even see Morgan Tsvangirai was still alive those days. Unfortunately, his health was failing him, and the people near him also were failing him. We see Morgan Tsvangirai at one point leaking messages out of the hospital. He doesn't have his passport, etc. Things like that. Some of his relatives are going after his wife because she's a second wife or what. I don't know if they wanted him to be married to a grave.
Hours together. Maybe what happened in 2017, what is many, but it was said. Many of us invested money, personal resources to fund Operation Restore Legacy. We lost millions with the hope of restoring this country to a democracy, but little did we know that we were fighting for thieves.
We lost millions, so we can see he knows he has details, which means it's highly likely he did contribute or architect this 2017 coup. We would see him making a post on his x.com. On his x.com, he writes, "Fellow Zimbabweans, I hear people say I was abducted. It is false. No one dares to touch me because I am a highly trained war veteran. And Mnangagwa knows that I am not an easy target at all. Ziyambi Ziyambi, to hell with you. Uripwere, inemkaka pamino. You know nothing, you know nothing. Bring it on."
We are wiser and clever now.
There you have it. It's a very valid point yavari kutaura kuti isusu age yedu yaenda and kwatava our dying minutes. So we can't live situation yakadaro atina zvatinenge taita revolution yatakaita 1980 inenge yakaitivira pasina tishuwawo. Tell us what you think in the comment section. What's your view on that? Can we trust these guys or they are sellouts? Tell us what you think.
So revolution is not an is not achieved in a day. At independence, revolution can be pushed by an event. Revolution is a change of the mindset of the nation, of the people. Their mindset, their way of thinking is what a revolution is. Industrial revolution is not about building the industries themselves, but changing the culture of the people, the mind. Now, after all this Geza is happening, let me take you back in time. 1992, there is ISAP. 94, 95, there is drought. 97, there is a recession or a depression. They usually happen after 5 years, like right now where we are. The next recession or depression in Zimbabwe is going to be happening in the year 2027, after 2 years from now, just before 2028. In 1997, we see war veterans demanding compensations. Compensations, yes, they're entitled to benefits because they did serve. They're entitled to pensions. Then, land. Then we see MDCs formed in 1999. 2000, we see the first protest in Zimbabwe. War veterans were given money is printed. War veterans are given land. Agriculture industry is stunted. Right now where we are, the need for a local currency is to keep these guys with an ability to keep printing money. And you as Zimbabweans, you pay for that money in terms of trade deficit, right? So it is not something that is worth saying or be using for a campaign, because not every ordinary Zimbabwean can comprehend that they have to actually be well versed in the economics of economics. What happens? How is a trade deficit created? A trade deficit is created when Zimbabwe imports more than the money it has in its nostril accounts. When we import real goods, more than the US dollar we have. So Zimbabwe gets the US dollar from selling the local currency. The local currency loses its value. Kukava gepiroro. So when it loses its value, it's you now who is now paying more. That's how you cover the trade deficit. Now, after all this by war veterans, we see this is a Herald article. We see a Herald article which reads 1.5 million allocated to Presidential War Veterans Fund. According to their mindsets, politicians, 1.5 million is not a lot of money. 1.5 million. War Veterans Fund has started in earnest with Mashingo, Mashonaland and East provinces paying etc. Right? Now, if we write $1.5 million, let's say we're going to share $1.5 million among 1,000 war veterans. Each would get $15,000. If we are going to share 1.5 million among 10,000, each would get 1,500 US dollars. Now we see something, a development has happened. I'm just bringing the word development back. All right, they're saying every war veteran has received $200. Okay? So, I don't know what young Shikari Nikunoko, because surviving in Zimbabwe, unenge uri hero. So, there is now efforts, the attention is to the war vets, because the war vets did speak. Because the war vets did speak.
Andakona rambaye nyimakamire pona nguskazi. Vanhu vamuri kuonawo baba pachisina hapachisina baba vanochengeta mawidow ayo. World Veterans League yakagara pasi tikati isusu toda kuti pave netrust iyoyo ivo vanoitawo trust yavo vorejista kuWorld Veterans League kuti kana World Veterans League yakuwana mari kubva kutrust, imimi munowanawo mari iyo akafanana neyemuWorld Veterans ari mupenyu kuti muitewo maprojects, haasi maprojects ekutamba.
A trust. Trust is a key word. It is a trigger word. It is a trigger word. The word trust. But there's a trust which means trust. Right? This is the year 2025. In a third world nation in Zimbabwe. Widows, after their husbands die, they still suffer. In the year 2025. We go back 35 years, 30 years ago, in the year 1995, we see the drama Neria. It's about a widow. Then, Chuku then will be singing, Usawore moyo, don't lose heart. You are with God. Don't lose heart, you are with God. Mari anewe, you have God. After her husband's will was subverted, the will. Yes, people do write their will when they are dying, but you can will into being anything.
Toda kuti murume wenye akafa achengeterana. Ende izvozvo takazviitiswa takapuwa wisdom iyoyo napresident kuti itai trust tokupai land iyo tikuvachemera tikuonzwa kuti kudai pamazuva neimwe yekuvictoria falls nekoko tikuti dai yanga yasvika mari iyoyo kumabhauti hameno nyangwe ikasvika pabhiriyoni, asi toda kuti muWorld Veterans mumwe chete asumuka achikwanisa kunokwereta mari yokuita any business.
Right. Now, what all this is about, ladies and gentlemen, all the lobbying and the kunyengera vanu vari mupawa vane puti vanonyengera chii. We see Chiwenga's statement there, elected by everybody. It is the will of the masses. That is that which gives the military its strength. That is what gives the military its strength, the will of the people. We are spiritual beings as we are right now. Hope, not hopelessness. Hope, not hopelessness. Positive thinking. All things work it well for the good of those that believe. There is never a person who doesn't believe. No. If a person doesn't believe, they don't believe harm is going to come to them. It would be safe to be like a little child. The little child is one who can go, they don't believe. But adults, they believe in the contrary. They believe harm is coming. So the collective will be just that. When politicians refer to the people are called the mass. The mass. Cell level. Cell is a multifaceted word. It can mean geomagnetic cells. But what a cell really is a jail cell. It's a compartment, it's a constituent that is defined according to how it is defined. We look at sociology. All sociology laws, sociology dynamics happening in our society today, in our dysfunctional societies, are the same to what would happen in the United States of America in a 1940-50 ghetto. The behaviors we are seeing in people All this type of politics, propaganda, sensationalism, advertising, eliciting, it would be happening now. There is social media. We're seeing ZANU-PF active in planting their own narrative. However, this one, it is undoable. Impressing the people. Yes, if the people were a little bit, I wouldn't use the word civilized. I wouldn't use the word forgiving also. But the people of Zimbabwe just want something else. When they say no, it's a no. It can never turn into a yes. However, they are buyable with actual cash, of which that would mean developing the nation for everyone. Developing the nation itself is what is needed. Now, what is stopping our development? What is stopping our progress is corruption and continued looting. Then the looters, and start lobbying for term extension. When one speaks the same way they're lobbying for extension, they are lobbying for something else. They then start to use things like Mnangagwa and Chiwenga are tight. Mnangagwa and Chiwenga are tight. Because they can speak, because they're saying, our president Mnangagwa, we are behind, just like Chabangu will be like, we are behind Nelson Chamisa. But Chi Chakamisa Chamisa, Mutriple C. So the video we do see, VP Chiwenga speaking about the people. Not everybody knows that the nation doesn't mean the land. The nation is the people one who identify with the nation. Then the country, Zimbabwe is not a country, it's a democratic republic, which can also be termed as a country, right? A country is now the nation, meaning the people, its territory, meaning the land, and its government, meaning the state, not the state, meaning state, nation state is us Zimbabweans identifying to ourselves as nation. That is the nation state, state of the mind, status quo. That is the nation state. The state, the government, and the state are different. As a collective people, our collective will is that which gives the military or revolutionary fighters not necessarily the power, but the rights, the ability to be able to fight for a people. It is the will of the people. So we see in DRC, they cannot defeat M23 because they are fighting for the people. It is the will of the people they are fighting for. Remember, we are in this land. The one who holds the title deeds of this land doesn't have title deeds. This land is actually his deed. That is God. It's God. Does God choose our leaders? No, it's we the people. Back in the days, he used to anoint leaders and choose leaders for the people. And people said, no, we want to be choosing our own leaders. And he gave us the vote as a voice. As a voice, the vote, showing our devote. The vote is not necessarily the X in the ballot box. The vote is the will of the people. That is your vote, your voice. Now, people do not believe in democracy. Do they vote? So we need to change our mindset. We need a revolution of the mind. To be of one mind. to be of one mind. So we need to stop being toxic people who preach pessimism. We need to be optimistic in ourselves, in your individual self, and you tell yourself this: as long as I am here, things will go well. As long as I register to vote and vote for whoever I vote, that's how it will go. Now, how do you convince everybody to do that? Jesus says, blessed are those who believe before they have seen. Before they have seen. Believing before seeing. Now, how do you see what you want to see when it needs you to believe first before you see it? At least if we had a different education system, we'll be learning from histories of other nations. Fellow Zimbabweans, no African nation is prosperous right about now, as of today. The South African people have better opportunities because the European, the white businessman, he has a different mindset from ours. Be it business administration, building corporations that are multi-generational. Here, we still have pull-down mentality. We pull down our own. We don't even have anything that is Zimbabwean owned. We don't have brands of our own, just food processing, okay, not farming. But when the British is coming here, they are not an experienced farmer. They produce sugarcane, sugar, and a whole lot of other things. Revolution will be coming the more we get educated. And our education is not ZIMSEC. That is miseducation. That is why people cannot understand simple business English. What things really mean, what is being said without any translation. It would be a state of mind. Remember, a person is not taught. They learn, they comprehend. You don't necessarily understand, but your understanding, is it allowed to get it? Be it any academic. It's not about somebody who is good at cramming or what. It's spiritual. It is spiritual. You learn what you can comprehend. If you cannot understand isiNdebele, you cannot hear anything a Ndebele person is speaking. What do we understand? What is reality and truth? We need to know the reality and stop being delusional. Stop being liars and lying to ourselves. Maybe we do that when it's therapy, not in real life. With that, I sign out. Dr. Clarence, TV7 Live.